Hi everyone, welcome to Motivational Monday. I'm so excited to be with you again. It feels like it's been forever since we chatted. And I feel like I've been around the world since we chatted, and I kind of have. Had a lot going on. The Thursday before I left for Banff, I actually went to see John Maxwell. Amazing, amazing day with this motivational leader, this man who has written many, many books and sold 26 million copies of his books on leadership. Who I really admire, and I was so, it was a great setting. I was so close to him, and it was wonderful. And his whole day was on intentional living and how we have to intentionally live life to the fullest. It doesn't just happen, we have to make it happen. So after that, I headed off to Banff, and that's kind of the story I want to share with you today because I have this major fear of heights. And I can do okay on a plane, but on a high building, most of the time I sit at the bottom and eat ice cream while everybody else goes to the top. So, of course, Banff is in the beautiful Rockies of Canada, the Rocky Mountains, so everything's high there. And one of the first things we did was ride this gondola that takes you like 7,000 feet up in the air. And it was very scary. And I was on there with Tanya Etris, who also gets a little nervous, and Rion, and my husband Larry. And so we're probably about 2/3 of the way up, and it stops. And we're just dangling there. And we were doing pretty good up until then. But I got to tell you, I had a full-on panic attack sitting there in that gondola. So I survived it, barely, and we go onto the top. And when we get to the top, of course, that means we have to come down. So once I was up there, of course, the views were beautiful. And all I could think about was how blessed I was to be able to do this amazing thing. And yet I was so scared. I was so afraid to let myself even enjoy it. So after we got back down that afternoon, we had a surprise from the CEO of Alouette, Bob Cohen. And he surprised all of us, presidents, there was 20 of us, president and directors, with a helicopter ride. Now, you can imagine how I felt at that moment. A helicopter ride. I mean, I just survived this gondola. The last thing I want to do is ride this helicopter. I mean, internally, I'm just praying. I'm just praying. I'm like, God, I can't do this on my own. You're going to have to help me. So they're putting 5 on the helicopter, and they put 5 of us on there, on our particular helicopter. And we had a couple of big guys on there, so it gets just barely off the ground, and it comes back down. My heart's about to beat out of my chest anyway, and they say it's too heavy. 2 people have got to come off. Well, I'm like, me, take me off, take me off. And so one of the biggest guys on there, my husband Larry really wants to ride it. So one of the biggest guys on there, his name's Ed. So he says, I'll get off. So he gets off, and I'm like, I want to get off too. This is God telling me to get off. And they come back and they're like, still too heavy, need 1 more. And I'm like, me, take me. So sure enough, they take me off. And Larry's kind of disappointed, but he's going to go, which is great. I told him, I said, go, go and have fun. So I get off, and when I get off of the helicopter, Bob Cohen is standing there. He thinks I'm coming back, and he goes, how was it? And I'm like, Bob, I didn't do it. They said we were too heavy, and they'll give you the refund. They'll give you your money back. He's like, no, we're not doing that. You're going. And I'm just like, it's okay if I don't go. No, you're going. Well, about that time, a guy walked up, and he said, one of the pilots, Peter, wants to talk to you. He thinks he can help you through this. So I'm thinking Peter's on land. Oh no, Peter's the pilot in the helicopter, in another helicopter. So they take me over there. I mean, we got to bend down. The blades are whirling. I'm a nervous wreck. They put me in the front seat with this pilot. And he begins to talk to me. And he said, so I would love to help you do this if you'll let me. Do you want to do it? I said, I want to do it, but I'm afraid. And he said, I think I can help you do it if you'll let me. Are you willing to try? I'm almost in tears now. I'm like, well, I'll try. But I had a panic attack today on the gondola. If I have a panic attack, will you bring me back? He said, I don't want you to have a panic attack, and I will definitely bring you back if you need me to. But will you try? Will you do what I say, and will you try? And I said, I'll try. So he begins to talk me through it. He tells me what he's doing. Of course, we're talking on these headsets. And I've got a picture here I was going to show you because this is me. Here I am with my things on. And he's talking to me. And he says, when I tell you to look at something, I just want you to focus on it. So we start to go up, and he tells me to focus on these 3 ridges. And he says, these are the 3 sisters. This is faith, hope, and love. The biggest one, the tallest one, is faith. And I just want you to focus on faith. And he began to tell me a story about how the ridges were created and the glaciers. And the next thing I know, guys, I'm in the air. I mean, I'm up. I'm over the top of these ridges. And he just taught me right through it. And it was the most amazing thing. And I mean, I could really cry right now just telling you about it. The next thing I know, we're just like soaring, and we're over the trees, and he's talking to me. And I said, you have no idea how my rear end is grabbing the seat right now. And he said, you're doing great. You're doing great. My palms are sweating. I mean, there was a glass floor in this thing. I barely looked down. I stayed focused on what he told me to focus on. And you know, it just tells me so much about leadership. When you've got a good leader and you've got somebody that believes in you and believes you can do it, if you're willing to focus on what they tell you to focus on, if you're willing to do what they ask you to do, all things can happen. It's all possible. So next thing I know, I see where we're headed back. And I'm like, how long have we been up here? And he said, 15 minutes. Well, I'm just like, you're kidding. I've been in the air 15 minutes. It was the most amazing experience. And of course, I'm forever thankful for the people that encouraged me and pushed me to do it and gave me the opportunity to do it. But especially to Peter, because he believed he could help me, and he did. So what are you letting hold you back? What fear is holding you back? Will you listen to your Alouette mentors? Will you listen to your Alouette leaders, the ones that have gone before you and done it? You know, Peter told me he does that every day, all day. That's the way these women are that are successful in Alouette, the ones that have won the trips, the ones that have done it before you. Will you let them lead you? Will you focus on the highest peak, which is faith? Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you so much in Alouette, and I hope this week is a week that you choose to soar over fear. Have a great week.